Hello, my name is Daahhoud, director and producer of a jazz benefit given here at Christina Cultural Arts Center for Roosevelt, Wardell. Let me introduce a vocalist, lyricist, the executive director of Christina Cultural Arts Center, friend and co-sponsor of this jazz benefit, Ray Jones. Daahoud al-Mahdi, the lion's mane, is a writer, composer, lyricist, stylist, arranger, singer, sign painter, commercial artist, pianist, comedian, maverick, and is a child prodigy. His professional career propulsioned on December 25th, 1949 at the Met Theater in his hometown of Baltimore, Maryland. He stated that he was a singer, dancer, pianist at the age of sweet 16 and had never been kissed. In January 1950, under the auspices of Phil Rose of Raisin in the Sun, he began recording. Together they made a hit record entitled Bernice, and the flip side was She Drink Too Much Wine on the Melford label. Phil Rose at that time was one of the soloists for the Metropolitan Opera. He loved Roosevelt's style and voice and aided him to stardom. Daahoud al-Mahdi's popularized name at that time was Roosevelt Wardell. His hit recordings took him to such famous establishments as the Apollo Theater in Harlem, New York, where he performed with George Orr's big band featuring Jerry Mulligan, Kenny Dorham, Curly Russell, Norman Miller's dance troupe, and many other great acts. Then he started performing in the Savoy Ballroom with Louis Russell's big band and was traveling the theatrical and nightclub org. Daahoud lived with Louis Russell, the very famous arranger, pianist, and band leader in Sugar Hill in Upper Manhattan, New York. Louis taught him the ropes. He then moved on to perform and record on other major labels, along with famous artists Ed Wiley, Piney Brown and the Trailblazers, Charles Taylor and the Bronze Skin Mannequins, Mantan Moreland, and famous chauffeur with the movie detective Charlie Chan. Daahoud worked with Conway Twitty, many country, western, Latin, and rhythm and blues bands, such as Bull Moose Jackson, B.B. King, Ruth Brown, and Big Joe Turner. Ray?
Daahoud was a close friend of the late great arranger, pianist Tad Dameron, Moms Mabley, and the great saxophonist and entrepreneur Julian Cannonball Adderley. He still lists among his friends comedian Red Fox, Choker Campbell, and Roberta Flack, for whom he has written several musical arrangements. He has performed also with Nat Adderley, James Moody, Sonny Rollins, saxophonist, songwriter Lee Howe, Kenny Brown, Tommy Ryan, Ronnie Smith, Harry Spencer, vocalist Brandy, and the one whom Daahoud calls the world's greatest drummer, jazz drummer, and teacher, Max Roach, as well as a host of male and female vocalists and dancers in shows all over the U.S., Mexico, Wilmington, Delaware, and Canada. In the year 1954, Daahoud stated, "I met Abdul Rashid Yahya, the great pianist, writer, composer, arranger, lyricist, and singer in Baltimore. We talked a while and found that we had a lot in common and decided to move together to study, practice, and exchange ideas using our optics." In 1955, Clifford Brown, the late great trumpeter and pianist, came to Baltimore with Max Roach and their group. Clifford and Rashid were close childhood friends and constituents in Wilmington, Delaware. Rashid introduced Clifford and Daahoud, and there was the beginning of a real friendship. Daahoud had the pleasure of playing with Clifford and Max. In his own words, "We had a ball playing Cherokee in all keys. Abdul Rashid Yahya is the genius of the highest musical architectural order. He, Daahoud, and Rashid's lovely wife, Rabia Al-Haya, who was a beautiful lyricist and master of prose, collaborated. I had the pleasure of being mentored and taught by Daahoud in the very beginning of my musical career, and I remember very vividly all of the musical and life teachings that he shared with me. It has been a pleasure being a co-sponsor of this benefit in Daahoud's honor. And Lee, we thank everyone that collaborated with us.
Ray, like you, Roosevelt was indeed an influence in my musical career and many others in the town of Wilmington. But I would like at this time to personally thank all of the musicians and friends who performed at this benefit, as well as the lovely audience who, without their participation, would not have been possible. Thank you.
Thank you.